Okay. We have
Morten from Multiconsult. Hey, Morten. How are you?
good.
Good to see you from last night.
Same as heading.
What did you finish up early or late?
Got back around 10, I guess.
Many beers?
Not many.
No.
It was a good time. Did you drink beers? No.
No, I don't really drink. I have sparkling water. It's a good replacement when you're not drinking.
And nuts. Yes.
And nuts.
Nuts, and then like that you stack nuts.
No, they were bringing like pieces of fillet steak, sirloin steak and chicken and like what's the deep fried shrimp stuff? Calamari kind of things.
Yeah, and the skewers were nice.
Question is, where were you?
I was in the meeting till 7:38. So, yeah.
Okay, Morten.
Yeah.
Let's get on to this. So, how was you just done a speech right before this, right? So your media duties are like
Yeah,
onto the
ready for it. It's kind of on a roll there. Yeah, but that was fun. I mean, first time at SpeckleCon, and been looking forward to this for some months now, and I was really thrilled to be on that stage.
Yeah, nice. What's like? We'll get into like what Multiconsult is. Maybe tell us like what's your kind of relation to Spec.
That began in, I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago. So my background is I'm a structural engineer.
Welcome.
Good.
I'll let you guys nerd out. I'll see you in a little while.
So you can just wait outside and we'll chat. Okay. Yeah. No, but
chat.
My background is from design of concrete structures. So the group that I work in, we have a strong history in designing shell structures in concrete.
All around the world, I guess.
Yeah, from Canada to Italy and the Northern Sea.
Through Norway.
Yeah. And we're based in Norway. Yeah. And I mean, in 2020, 2021, we were exploring how to use Python and Git to kind of update our design workflows. So how to make our design workflows more efficient. Then a colleague of mine, he told me, well, why can't you integrate Speckle into this? And well, to be honest, I'd never heard about Speckle before, but it turned out to be kind of the perfect match for our workflows, because with Speckle we could get the data layer for free.
What is data layer? This says.
Good question. Well, we write our design workflows in Python. And when you have the software development kit that Speckle provides, so Speckle Pi, you can get access to your Speckle server through Python. So that makes it quite easy to actually produce a data-driven design workflow without having to bother with Azure subscriptions or similar.
You mentioned earlier
Martin,
that
this is much more structural engineer than you.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for 100% for sure. I'm too basic and that. So
this is just buzzwords. So.
What's the? So you mentioned that you wanted to improve your workflows. Like, what was the issue with the workflows, and how did you, as an engineering business design consultancy, did you think about it? Okay, I think we should improve it. Why? What was the reasons to even think about improving it?
Well, there was kind of nothing really wrong with the workflows, but they were based on kind of orchestrating program runs with these old school bat files. So nothing wrong with bat files, but they're kind of not the format for the future. Kind of, it's been a while, but they're still in use, and I mean, it kind of gives you superpowers. You can write your input files and run your programs and produce results that you can review afterwards. And but they're not. You cannot scale with them, right? It's not the format for the future. So instead of using those, we developed our own task manager in Python. And then suddenly you have access to the whole Python ecosystem of tooling. So like plotting or data exploration or reporting or Speckle Pi. So the data layer is open to you.
So you just connect your data into Speckle Pi and you have all the dashboard of all of your. Just give us like what examples? What do you have in this?
Yeah, and then like how do you then?
And why is that relevant from engineering consultancy point of view?
So one example could be from our geotechnical division. where you have where one task could be to analyze the installation procedure of monopile foundations for offshore wind turbines.
You got that, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm processing. Yeah. You can tell by my eyes. Yeah.
So basically, you
Not
have
an
these. Sorry. So basically, you have these giant steel pipes, so like 8 to 10 meters in diameter, perhaps 60 meters long, 40 meters long, and these are supposed to be penetrated through the seabed offshore. So you head offshore with your boat, a stack of piles, and you need to knock
Big
them
hammer.
through. Yeah, and a big hammer. Yeah, exactly. So the purpose of these analysis that the geotechnical division then do is to analyze how many strokes with the hammer do we need to
Okay.
do. Kind of.
Simple terms.
Yeah, in simple
I'm glad
terms.
you are democratizing this for me.
No, but the point there is that the input there is perhaps a spreadsheet of the soil layering on the seabed, and perhaps you also have a spreadsheet of your geometry of this giant steel pipe. Okay, all this data you can feed into your data layer. You can put that on your Speckle server, and then you can make your design workflows access this data. So instead of having your Excel sheets as the driver for your workflow, you can have Speckle as the core data layer of the work.
I can see it as a like software for engineer 2.0, who is kind of more visual, can see much better what they have done, and then can drive conclusions out of that much simpler, faster. Would that be correct?
I think so, yeah. I think that's a good interpretation.
Morten, can you tell us about the talk you just done upstairs? Like, what was the kind of key lessons for people listening, and conclusions and takeaways?
I think key lesson there is or the story was more or less riffing upon what I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So these kind of improvements that we did to our workflow. And I mean, one key lesson from this is that we're not so much building applications. Like 4 or 5 years ago, my impression was that if I can build cool applications, then that would be a way forward for maturing our digitality, kind of. But then we realized, well, instead of building applications, I think we should rather focus on providing our engineers with flexible libraries. So that's one key takeaway from the presentation.
So, okay, so then and what does that enable? And that enables engineers to then build their own applications?
Yeah, or instead of applications, then build workflows and explore design alternatives in a more flexible way. So often, at least in my quite narrow experience from doing this, well, often with applications, you also get technical debt, right? And you get that quite fast. And for kind of reaching the final 5 to 10% while developing such an application, you spend more than half the time that you spent in total.
So the last mile is the most difficult.
It is, yeah. That's the point, yeah.
So you're giving your engineers like more flexibility than telling them like this is an application, use it. Like you're giving them the kind of freedom. Maybe I'm using the wrong terms here, but like freedom to use the data how they want.
Yeah, the data and the features and the functionality, so you can kind of stitch this together, just like kind of like Lego. Lego it together.
Yeah.
From the organization point of view, what are key lessons that you learned during sorting out the data layer within a business, or trying to figure out the best way for the data transparency maybe in the business?
I think over the last years, our company, so Multiconsult, we've been on a data journey. And
we already, previous speakers were saying data highways. They're not just a journey. Yeah.
So they built their data highways, kind of. Yeah. I mean, we started exploring our business data as kind of the first scope, and put in simple terms, I think we can see the business data as kind of an easy task. It's about income, cost, headcount per year, profit, and then that's it. So the key to it is perhaps to extract the data from the various sources and then compile it somewhere, and then you can start kind of exploring, you can derive things, you can learn, and then you can build on top of that. And now we, after kind of exploring that part of our data verse, now we're heading over to project data, and this is what's really challenging. So I mean, at the moment, I don't really see how we can do that on a general scale, but perhaps project per project, it's doable.
Why are you saying? Sorry, go on.
No worries.
Why would you saying the project data is most challenging?
What's just so much, so dense, right? There's so many moving parts and so much data.
Yeah, and perhaps it kind of changes so from project to project. So in this project, perhaps you had perhaps it was a residential project, or in that project it was offshore wind, or in that other project you had a giant industry plant that need to be rebuilt to adapt for this new process equipment, for example. And I mean, the components of the data are so different. Perhaps the analysis that you need to do based on the data are so different. They require so different input. But then when we talk about, for example, the carbon footprint or the material takeout, then perhaps the story is a bit simpler. So it's about quantities and kind of volumes and material types, kind of.
So you need to have a lot of repetition, the same task, the same project, to have to drive good conclusions from it. Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Would you be using Speckle in any way to derive this project data somehow?
Yes, and this is one thing that we're currently exploring quite a bit. I mean, colleagues of mine are using Power BI, for example, for constructing dashboards. So dashboards that give the project management superpowers, really make their project managers happy. Now they have another overview.
Is it possible?
Yeah, I think so. With these kinds of dashboards, it's possible. Yeah. And also we see Speckle Intelligence as a game changer. We just briefly started exploring it, but I mean also the analysis data should be explored in Speckle Intelligence at some stage, I think.
Interesting. I know it's like, I don't want to go there yet. Maybe you've got some more questions on the data piece, but we have kind of intentionally left AI out of this discussion with you. Look, maybe it's not necessary, and for whatever reason we can ask you in a sec. But what is the complexity and scale? I don't know if it's possible to describe this in words, but of like project data, like how difficult is it? And when do you know you're in a place where like okay, we know everything about our project data now, like, or is it a forever ongoing kind of challenge to work out like, okay, now we have the data, well, how do we tell what's useful about it? How do we actually use this for a tangible outcome, whatever that might be?
Oh, you mean for one specific project or for a portfolio project?
Well, maybe we could start like project, and then how that project would scale across the entire organization, if it can. So it's obviously the organization is made up of projects, so that's kind of like the granular to the more broad.
Well, I think it kind of starts with structure of the data. So of course you need to have reasonable categories of the data so that you can infer, or you can put labels on them so that it's easy to sort them or group them or derive stuff from them. So to begin with, in one project, that is perhaps doable. One outcome that you can have quite early from that process is perhaps to use tools like Speckle for detecting whether your data had the right quality. So, for example, just applying some filter to a 3D viewer. If you see outliers there, well, okay, maybe you didn't do a good enough job on that.
That means that this data wouldn't be useful for.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you got the outliers there, it will be garbage in, and then garbage will eventually not even get out of it.
What do you think companies like Multiconsult should be paying attention to regarding data?
I think we should pay attention to that we own the data, that we have access to the data that we derive. This is the lesson that Speckle is telling us. So own your data. Don't lock it in with some proprietary.
So you're talking about these end user license agreements by owning the data. We're talking about owning it through the lens of those, or
I'm thinking more in terms of the perhaps the file format and the access to it. So with Speckle, you kind of have this open data format, right? On that you have access to.
means you can open everything.
You can open it, you can use it later, you can derive stuff from it later, you can see what's in there without having to pay some other vendor for licenses for having access to the data that you actually own. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you don't own the data, then you found a good use case, but if you're tied into that person, suddenly they say, oh, if you want access to the data, you need to pay us X, then you have no freedom of choice to be able to like, that's what ultimately better, or tie that to like what the business is trying to achieve in general. Like what's the outcome of being able to create these tools, and what is the downside of someone locking you in so you can't use it? Hinders everything.
It does.
Why have we not talked about AI?
Well, that's a good question, I guess.
Maybe you should ask us, because we haven't asked you about it till
Yeah,
now.
why aren't we? No, I mean, I guess if you ask me whether I use AI for my job or not, I think the answer would be quite boring, because I'm not really using many AI tools. I'm developing quite a bit of tools, so I'm maintaining an open source library called Structural Codes for structural engineers. None of my code there is AI generated.
For the record.
For the record. Not because I don't like it, but I really like to have control over what I put in there. So I want the users of that library to have the confidence that the code has integrity. I think I've seen many good use cases. For example,
For the designers?
Yeah, for designers, or for colleagues that need to solve one specific problem. For example, you can chat with some chat. You can ask, how can I merge these 10 Excel sheets into one, and then provide me with some
this
graphs.
collapses a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
that's a brilliant use case. I mean, you don't need to spend that time developing that function, because someone else battled that for you.
Yeah. When you think about future of designer, architect, or engineer, what do you see? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now?
I think I see a bright future. With the tools that we're developing, well, we are developing libraries that let our engineers use coding to solve real problems. I think for my colleagues, I think they find that quite enjoyable and inspiring. I think they feel superpowers, because they can do stuff they didn't imagine they could do before. We spend more time now providing value to our clients than kind of battling with files from here to there, and figuring out how to merge these Excel files, for example. So I think the everyday engineer life is more fun now than it used to be, and I think the future is bright.
Do you agree, Martin?
Yeah, I agree, for sure.
And sorry, I've got a question for. I'm going to ask on behalf of Martin.
Okay.
How easy is it for a structural engineer to grasp, like, because what I hear is like lots of like software data, and obviously structural engineer is one profession, software engineering, and everything is something quite else. But also, I'm very aware that a lot of structural engineers do kind of dabble with code, so they're a little bit familiar with it. But for like a typical structural engineer, is it difficult for them to pick up like stuff that you've created at Multiconsult, for example, like freedom and access to that data? Do they have to have some knowledge to be able to use it, or is it like very easy to pick up and kind of build your own thing?
Yes and no. I think all our new recruitments that come directly from school now, they know Python, so they have been exploring Python through their education. And I mean, if you many of the workflows that we design, they are designed to be to have a reasonable entry barrier. But I mean, going straight into exploring data on Speckle with SpecklePy, the barrier there is quite a barrier. So start slowly, start with the small workflows, start with the small tasks, start with the Jupyter notebook and explore the code there, kind of, and then expand from there.
Nice.
Yep.
You mentioned that you develop internal tools, and these tools are like design tools or more workflow tools, or blend of both?
Both, I guess. Mainly stitching together different tools for devising some workflow to solve a specific problem. But then mentioning the structural codes library, that's mostly for design. So that library contains functions from design codes, and
Sorry.
oh, nice.
Now I can sit more upright.
Baby.
It's the benefit of being 5'6".
You should have said we would just do this.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Where do we get to?
Now interrupting about creating software for workflows, so blend of workflow improvement and design task improvement. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. We I suppose we have like one or two more questions maybe. What's your favorite thing to do in Norway?
In Norway, well, I have 2 kids, so the things that I do most is to hang out with them. We build a lot of Lego. They are into drawing and kind of puzzling with Hama beads, etc.
That's cool. What's your best Lego piece? Like a favorite construction?
That would be the Lion Knight Castle.
Which one?
The Lion Knight's Castle. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Look into this one.
Yeah, you should.
How many pieces?
I'm not sure. It's a quite big one.
Yeah.
It's not like the Star Wars sets, but it's a quite big one. It's going out of production now, so you better hurry up.
Have you heard about this Lego for engineers, structural engineers? I can't remember trying to find this now.
Like the BrickUmotion thing, or
like the pieces you put together, like you build a bridge, this kind of stuff.
also like Lego Techniques.
Yeah, no, this one. It was like a separate company operating it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
Oh, interesting. We should continue that in perhaps the next episode.
Yeah.
So
a Lego episode.
yeah, it's about bricks and bytes, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, good.
Okay. Morten, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My
Very
pleasure.
quick fire. Key takeaway. One key takeaway from SpeckleCon so far.
Data is key.
Soundbite that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
See you.
See ya.